Welcome one, welcome all to this presentation of TCC basketball on TCCEagles.com. I am William Haynes alongside Brett Rutherford, and we welcome you into the Bill Hebrock Eagle Dome for the women's side of the doubleheader this evening between Tallahassee Community College and Chipola College. Chipola wins the tip-off. It is Caitlin Bryant with it. Gives it to Jordan McLaughlin, who takes it up the court. Back to Bryant. Bryant to Gaskins. A lot of ball movement here for Chipola early. Muhammad's got it. Gives it to Fowles. Fowles passes it down low. Back to Fowles. Thinks about taking a three. She does, and she nails it for the first points of the game. Chipola gets on the board first with a three-point shot from Cheeker Fowles. And they're able to intercept the inbound and get another quick basket. 5-0 Chipola. TCC trying to set up their first real offensive possession of the game, and they turn it over once again. It's out of bounds, and possession will remain with the Eagles. Mayenna Garrett will do the inbound. Back to Garrett. And Nicolochikina takes a three, and it is no good. Rebounded by Chipola. McLaughlin pushes it up the floor as they look to get something set up. Back to McLaughlin. Fouls on the other side. She's already made a three so far today, and that one is just off and does not go. Rebounded by TCC. Nicolochikina with it, pushing it down the floor to Garrett, and she gets it to fall for the first points of the game for TCC. They can trail now by a score of 5-2.
William, those transition buckets are going to be important for TCC today. We know the offensive output that Chipola has had this entire season. Getting those points in motion is going to be huge for the Eagles.
Chipola has averaged 80 points a game. They've got a rather fiery attack. They take another deep three-point shot, and that one does not fall. Muhammad letting that one go. Garrett has it, gives it to Chambers down low, and some contact potentially, but no foul called. Possession stays with TCC.
Yeah, Chambers comes down there grabbing her face. No foul called. I like the idea there from the Eagles. Get it inside. Get the shot up quick. Maybe you get the bucket, but maybe you head to the free throw line.
Garrett inbounds to Nicolochikina. Pump fakes. Two defenders on her. Does not get the shot to fall. Another Eagle rebounds. That was Bowles and missed as well. Nicolochikina from three, and that one is just off. Chipola rebounds. It is McLaughlin pushing it up the court once again. Muhammad drives back to McLaughlin, and she gets it to fall. 7-2 now, Chipola, and a timeout on the floor called by TCC head coach Joe Cohen. We'll step aside. You're listening to or watching TCC basketball on TCCEagles.com. With 7:54 remaining in the first quarter, we welcome you back to the Eagle Dome. The Eagles trail Chipola by a score of 7-2, but they've got the ball. A little bit of a trap there by Chipola. Chambers got it at the top. Nicolochikina thought about a three and passed it off instead. Back to Nicolochikina. Passing it all around the floor here, trying to get Chipola off guard with a three, and it is no good by Polina.
Chipola playing a very stringent zone defense here. The Eagles had a hard time trying to beat it there. Again, going back to that point, they've got to move the ball quickly. They can't let them get set defensively and really get in a zone. That's going to create a lot more possessions for this Chipola team.
Foul called there, our first of the game. And it will be called on TCC. Denisha Bowles called with the foul. Chipola will inbound the ball in their front court. They get it to Gaskins. Gaskins back to McLaughlin. She's been running the point so far here this evening. Drives left, kicks back out to three, to fouls, and she gets it to go. That is her second three-point shot made. Seems to be a big point of emphasis for this Chipola offense. Eagles getting it to the front court quickly. Chambers with it. Garrett passes it back out. Back to Garrett. And does not get that one to fall. Chipola rebounds and pushes the ball up the floor rather quickly on the fast break. And some good defense by TCC. They prevent a bucket in transition. Polina takes it back out. She passes it on the left side. Looking to get it down low to Chambers, and that one is turned over by TCC. McLaughlin back with it. Out to Muhammad, who gives it to Fowles. And Chambers catches her off guard, stripping her of the ball, and a potential fast break points for TCC, and they get it to fall. Denisha Bowles in transition with the bucket. It is now 10-4.
Yeah, the Eagles cannot afford to slow up. They can't afford to dribble that out. Bowles did a great job getting to the rim, putting the shot up. Even if that doesn't fall, you had Chambers there potentially for an offensive rebound, or again you still have the possibility of drawing that foul.
McLaughlin, she's been passing mostly, and a nice nifty pass there. They get an open shot, do not get it to fall. Chambers, a good job being in position for the rebound.
You know what? I think the Eagles are comfortable letting Chipola shoot those three balls. If it's their night and they knock him down, it's just their night. There's a three attempt, no good. But you'd rather than that than just having clear paths to the rim.
Absolutely. TCC has done a good job of defending the key so far. Ball out of bounds, but possession will stay with Chipola.
Yeah, I think when you're on your home court, you'll let them take those shots. If they hit them, fine. But if not, you can get those rebounds, start moving. You don't want to let up the easy buckets inside, though.
A couple of substitutions made by Chipola. McKinney and Baez enter the floor. The first substitutions made of the game. We're about midway through the first quarter. 10-4 is your score in favor of Chipola. And off the inbound, they get another quick bucket, and that'll make it 12-4. Garrett with it, trying to push it up the floor. Some pressure here by Chipola, and they're able to force a turnover. They got a trap and trying to pass out of it. A bit of an errant throw, and it was out of bounds. McKinney for Chipola will inbound. Gets it to McLaughlin. He's handled the ball more than just about anybody on the floor here so far tonight. A big part of their attack. Graham with it. Gives it to Bryant. Bryant to McLaughlin. McLaughlin looking for something. She's going to drive on Garrett. Passes it out. Back to McLaughlin. Some good defense here by TCC, not allowing an easy bucket. McLaughlin takes it the distance, but does not get it to fall. Rebound and out to Garrett, who's running in transition a little bit. And the pass to Polina is off. And Chipola has got themselves yet another turnover. And our second foul called on the game. TCC called once again. And it was Denisha Bowles called for her first foul.
Again,
or Devine Guthrie, rather.
You see Garrett move, and she tries to dribble that. She does pass that one out. Instead, I think those are going to be their best shots when they're moving in transition, when Chipola isn't all the way back yet on defense. You've got to just put it up. That might be your best opportunity tonight.
We've got our first free throws of the game. Ashley Baez, just 42.3% from the free throw line. First one is no good.
Chipola's done a nice job not fouling yet thus far, 5.5 minutes into the first quarter.
I think overall some really good defense here by the Eagles. I mean, they're definitely making Chipola work. If they can just, take the turnovers down a little bit, be more consistent offensively, they should be in good shape.
Yeah, they're trapped here.
Chipola goes with a full court press again, and they're trapping whoever has the ball. TCC is able to keep it.
Yeah, they're going to say that went off one of the Chipola players. Didn't look like it. I thought maybe a foul call, but no, it'll be Eagle ball.
Miami Garrett with the inbound, gets it to Guthrie. Out to Polina, now back to Garrett. Trying to find the open shot is TCC, and looks like they're going to get Polina Nicolochikina with a charge. Third foul of the game for TCC, and possession now back to Chipola.
Chipola, very well disciplined team, always going to look to draw those charges. They do it right there. They get the ball right back.
McLaughlin with it. Out to Baez. Baez looking for somebody. Everyone's about covered, so they give it back to McLaughlin at the top. To McKinney. Back to Baez. A lot of passes back and forth, and a foul in the act of shooting. It looks as it will be called another foul again on TCC, their fourth of the game.
Really great defense leading up to the foul there. You got him down to just 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and I think you're almost more comfortable letting her drive in there. You had some help defense down low. Foul call there is tough, letting them go to the free throw line that late into the possession.
Polina's second foul of the game in a matter of about 30 seconds or so, and now she heads to the bench.
Yeah, it's still not a very deep rotation for this Eagles team. Still dealing with a lot of injuries. I see Kara Mullity not suited up for action tonight. So you got to watch who's getting into foul trouble. And a player like Polina, who's been your best scorer and maybe your best all-around player, seeing her go to the bench in the first quarter with a couple of fouls, it's not a great sign.
Shimi Muhammad misses both free throws. Chipola really committed to this full-court press, and they get yet another turnover in transition. TCC trying to get back. It's McKinney. Gives it out to Hewley, who makes her first appearance of the game. Baez drives, and the shot is no good. TCC getting the ball down the floor rather quickly, looking for a bucket here, and a foul, the first one called on Chipola. And TCC will get to shoot some free throws.
Yeah, Divine Guthrie heading to the free throw line here. Again, you gotta think. You know, Coach Cohen's got to be thinking: Are you going to beat Chipola when in your half court set? Right, when you get set on offense, do you have what it takes to beat them, or are you going to have to find other ways to generate offense? It's going to be really tough. And so I think getting the ball to the rim as quickly as possible, putting shots up, getting to the foul line again. I've said it a lot already, but that's going to be the key for TCC to stay in and have a shot to win this game.
Guthrie makes her first free throw, closes out a little bit of a drought there for the Eagles, and gets her second shot to fall as well.
Hey, it's only a two-score game. I'm trying not to sound too negative here. Only a two-score game, still very early. But we saw TCC hang in with Chipola for the entirety of the first half in Mariana a couple weeks ago, and you'd love to see them put up a similar type of fight here at home.
Gonna have a foul on the floor. And it looks like Chipola is going to get to shoot some free throws out of it. It is, waiting to put it up, Olivia Eller's first foul of the game for TCC. To Shona Wright-Gaskins, her first free throw attempt is off the front of the rim. A rather effective free throw shooter, just under 77%. As a team, Chipola from the free throw line is 61%. Gets her second to fall, and that'll make it 14-6 in favor of the visiting Chipola. They're committing to this trap on defense, and a foul called will be on Chipola. Possession remaining with TCC. Some physical full court defense, and a lot of it so far from Chipola. TCC with the inbound. They get it to the other side of the floor. Shindea Payne with it. Gives it down low to Guthrie. Guthrie back out to Payne, and the shot is no good. Rebounded by Chipola, and they push the ball up the floor in a hurry, trying to get some transition points. Get it to the corner there to Gaskins, and her shot is good. So just after making a couple of free throws, she gets a jump shot just beyond the rim. Payne passes it out. Chipola tips it, but it looks like it's going to be out on them. Ball stays with the Eagles. Garrett back in the game. She inbounds it to Sendeja Payne. Payne having some difficulty crossing midcourt. She's going to need to get it out, and she does to Garrett. They've got an open shooter on the left side, and it's good. Divine Guthrie hitting a nice mid-range shot. And that's how you get out of that trap. Find the open player down the court, and they were able to do so.
You've got to be willing to take those risky passes to break that pressure and find open shooters. Oh.
They're going to say possession stayed with Chipola there. Shimi Muhammad was driving, and it just looked like she lost the handle of the basketball, but they're going to say a member of the Eagles touched the ball on its way out.
Yeah, I don't know if I see that one the same way. They're a lot closer, the officials on the floor, but.
Muhammad will inbound, gets it down low to Fouls, and she gets it to go. Her first 2-point shot of the game. We've seen her make a couple of triples.
There you go. There's that cross-court
Finding the
pass.
open player once again. It is no good. So Deja Payne with the shot there. Possession remaining with TCC. It will be Garrett inbounding once again. So Deja Payne looking to get open down low. She's not, so they get it out to Chambers right on the sideline. And the shot put up, and it's good for Olivia Eller, her first points of the game.
Great move by Eller. Front door cut. Spins to create the space for that shot and knocks it down. Huge from Olivia Eller.
Deficit at 8 points now for TCC. Chipola getting it down low. Passes it back out to Fouls. Fouls looking to drive. She's got a 3-point shot. Puts it up, and it's good. Her third 3-point shot of the game.
Look, you've got a minute left in this quarter. You're down 11. Let's just try to get it to single digits going into the second quarter. You've actually had some really nice possessions here as the quarter's gone on. I wouldn't call it momentum, but what you've been able to do offensively, you got to try to keep that up. Great off-ball movement, making cuts, trying to get open, beat this zone defense, and now this full-court pressure, that's got to be the key.
TCC was fouled shortly after inbounding, so they basically redid the play. Eller out to Bowles. Bowles looking to get it out of the trap. She does to Garrett, who's at the top. Back to Deja Payne, who's looking to work. Takes it down low, and she's fouled, and she'll shoot 2. Some nice playmaking there by Deja Payne. This season, just over 60% from the free throw line.
William, are you a soccer fan at all?
I wouldn't consider myself one. No, not necessarily.
So there's a style of play in soccer that's known as tiki-taka, right? Where when you get the ball at your feet, 1, maybe 2 touches at maximum before you pass it to your teammate. You're trying to move the ball quickly, weave around the defense. When the Eagles are facing that full court pressure, they need to play some tiki-taka basketball. You saw them do it on that last possession there. Hold the ball in your hands for a second tops before you pass it up the court. Try to move that ball quickly.
Great call by my broadcast partner, Brett Rutherford. TCC's able to get the rebound, fouled by Chipola. And now that'll be the 4th foul called with just about 30 seconds left in this opening quarter. Both teams in the bonus for those 30 seconds.
Huge free throws here. Like I said, you want to cut it to single digits. You don't want to take a double-digit deficit into the second quarter. They have a chance to cut it here. They're still going to play some defense. The quarter's not over yet. And make these free throws, I should say. But some promising signs here for the Eagles.
Tanisha Bowles has not had a chance to shoot many free throws this season. This is one of her first attempts of the year. Her first shot is off the front of the iron. No good. 21-11 Chipola. 10-point lead. The second shot. And that one is good. So Tanisha Bowles goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line and cuts the deficit, as you said, to single digits, as it is now at 9. McLaughlin back in. And now Baez with a 3-point attempt. It's no good. Rebounded by the center, Chambers, who's pushing it down the floor in a hurry, looking for the open player. Got to get it out of the trap. Back to Eller. And about the second or third time this game, they try to get it to Chambers down low, but she's covered, and it's a turnover for the Eagles. McLaughlin out to Fouls. Fouls down to left wing, and the buzzer beater was the shot in time. It is. So as the first quarter comes to a close, it's 24-12 in favor of Chipola. We'll step aside. You're watching TCC basketball on tcceagles.com and YouTube.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
Torchlight Townhomes, located at 228 Dixie Drive, is the new home of the TCC Eagles. The Torchlight community is perfect for TCC students looking for a home that's close to campus and equipped with everything needed for a positive college experience. Stop in and visit the new management team to schedule your visit or log on to livetorchlight.com.
William, that three-pointer at the buzzer, really tough one for the Eagles. I thought they played pretty good defense, but we've seen Chipola come out shooting the threes. And I mentioned it earlier. If they're going to come into your house and knock down threes, I don't know what else you can do.
Some resiliency certainly will be required by TCC to stay in this game, but that's one thing I think that they've done very well this season, hanging around with opponents. Eller will inbound to get this quarter started. 24-12, Chipola once again, a 12-point deficit for TCC. Some discussion amongst the officials, and now we're ready to get back underway. Eller gives it to Payne, and she's immediately trapped. She's able to get out of it, gets a pass out to Eller, down low, and it's a good shot.
That's a great move. Do not keep the ball in your hands. You don't want to get trapped like Sadasia Payne did there in the corner. She got out of it really quickly, got the ball, kept it moving. That's going to be key for TCC.
McLaughlin's got it. There's going to be a foul on the floor and a turnover for Chipola, one of their first of the game.
Yeah, I believe that'll be a moving screen on Shakira Fowles.
Her first of the game.
First foul for Shakira Fowles.
Eller's got it at the top. A shot put up and no good. Rebounded by Chipola. They get it out to their point guard, McLaughlin, who's done a great job of pushing the ball down the floor quickly so far. Gets it out to Fowles. On the right side to Muhammad. Back to Baez. Out to McLaughlin again. Bryant looking to drive. A screen set by Fowles. Gives it to her. Out to McLaughlin on the left wing. She's working. And now a shot put up. A three-point attempt is no good. Did not come close at all, and a good rebound by TCC. Eller's got it. Back to Garrett. Out to the left wing again, and that shot is just off. So they've been able to find that shot down there and just not gotten it to fall.
I'd rather miss a good shot attempt than get into a spot where you can't create any shots.
Absolutely. A tie up there. It'll be a jump ball.
And I also think you're going to need to see more of that. Sadasia Payne, we've seen her create turnovers, go in there, and force those jump balls. That's going to be really key. We've seen the Eagles. I don't want to say they've been timid. I think they've been less aggressive than we're used to seeing from them on defense. And I keep mentioning moving in transition. Well, the way you can move in transition is by creating those turnovers. If you rack up some fouls, who cares? Let's go. Let's try to get the ball back. There you go.
Almost got a turnover. McLaughlin was able to recollect it. Now they've got it to Wright Gaskins at the top, looking to drive. Passing it out to the wing. Muhammad now with a pass down low and a layup there for Brenda McKinney. Some good ball movement there by Chipola, no doubt. Devine Guthrie gives it out to Eller. Got Nicola Chikina on the wing. She's got open space. She drives and is fouled.
Great move there from Polina.
Second foul committed early in this second quarter on Chipola. It will be Brenda McKinney's second foul of the game. Polina Nicolo-Chikina to shoot a couple of free throws. Over 80% so far this season. One of the best on the team. Gets the first one to fall.
I'm looking at Brenda McKinney's season high in scoring. She scored 14 playing at Hillsborough Community College. William, fun fact about myself, I am a Hillsborough Community College graduate.
Wow. And certainly a big part of this Division I NGCAA basketball. Seems like they're always in the mix. on the baseball side of things. We'll get a chance to see them for a couple times this season.
Yes, we will. Good friends with some of the players on that team. Some of the former coaches that I think are elsewhere in junior college baseball now. But
that second free throw by Polina was in and out. McLaughlin has it. Some off-ball screens here by Chipola. Wright Gaskins puts up a shot, and it's no good. Rebounded by TCC. A nice job there by Denisha Bowles, who gets it out to Guthrie, out to Eller, and a turnover trying to get the ball to Bowles. Chipola moving quickly, and a nice bucket in transition for Jordan McLaughlin, who has had herself a nice game. She leads the team in scoring, just over 16 points a game. Eller with it now for TCC. Gets it out of the trap. Can Chambers get there in time? And she cannot.
Eller with a couple of turnovers back-to-back, and I think we're going to see a timeout on the floor real quick. But before we go, you've got to be really careful passing it across the court. When you got to go the whole width of the court to get a pass across, because if it gets tipped away and stolen like it did, it's going to be an easy bucket on the other end.
I believe a timeout called by the Eagles. We'll step aside. You're watching TCC Eagles basketball on TCCEagles.com. With 7:22 left in this opening half, we welcome you back. Chipola with the basketball. They have a 13-point lead. It's a 28-15 margin as we stand now. A turnover by TCC on their last possession, trying to get the ball down the floor. McLaughlin has it to Andrews. Back to McLaughlin. Down low and now out to the wing. Wright Gaskins has it now. Gives it to Muhammad. Muhammad looking. They'll reset with McLaughlin. They found an open shot with Mia Andrews, and it is offline, off the backboard, rebounded by TCC. Sandeja Payne's got it, looking to drive once again. Cannot get the ball up enough, and possession will actually remain with TCC.
I know Payne didn't finish on that reverse layup, but on the other end, defensively, she was all over the place, made it really difficult for Chipola to find an open shot. And when they did, she was right there to contest it, and I think that was a huge defensive possession there for Sandeja Payne.
She's having herself a nice game. Garrett with the ball here, looking to drive on Gaskins. A shot put up by Divine Guthrie, and they're going to call a foul on TCC.
No, that'll be a foul on Chipola.
Gotcha. Looked like the official signal for a turnover. Third foul of the quarter on Chipola. Mia Andrews first of the game. Divine Guthrie this season, just over 50%. Gets it to fall, and we have ourselves a 10-point game now. A little bit of pressure applied defensively here by TCC. And they're going to call a travel on Chipola. A turnover for them. One of the few mistakes they've committed offensively thus far.
Got to take this possession by possession. You're back to a 10-point deficit. Still plenty of time in this half. And if you can take any momentum into the break, I think that's a win for TCC right now.
Denisha with the inbound, passes it deep in the backcourt. Now they have it over the half-court line to Garrett. Now to Sandeja Payne, who's looking to drive on the wing against McLaughlin. Passes it to the other wing, drives, puts up a shot, and it's no good. That one by Denisha Bowles there. Chipola pushing it up, and a little bit of a floater in the lane by Wright Gaskins. Doesn't get it to fall. Rebounds it, puts it up again, and that one falls. Sandeja Payne pushing it up the floor. She's looking to take it all the way and loses the handle.
Yeah, just run off her leg there. I wanted to call that a lapse in concentration. I think she was trying to push the pace and just lost it.
Turnover for TCC. Bowles inbounds to McLaughlin, taking her time here with a 12-point lead, looking to maybe settle things down. Gives it to Bowles, who kicks it out. Back to McLaughlin now. Out to Muhammad, puts up a deep shot, and it's off the back of the Orange Iron, rebounded by Denisha Bowles. Bowles out to Payne. And a foul called on the floor. Chipola's fourth of the game with about 5 minutes left in the second quarter. TCC one foul away from getting themselves in the bonus. It was Shira Fowles' second of the game. Out to Eller beyond the three-point line. Back to Sandeja Payne, who puts up a mid-range jumper, falls back and does not get the shot to fall.
Could have been a foul called there, I think, too. I don't know if Payne was given the space to land on that shot attempt.
Wright Gaskins puts up a mid-range shot, and yeah, I thought McLaughlin with maybe an over the back. They're going to get possession to TCC.
It should be free throws. The Eagles should be in the bonus now.
That's right. They do end up calling that on McLaughlin, her first foul of the game. And we're going to have our media timeout as we're now within 6 minutes of the second quarter. We'll step aside. When we return, TCC looking to come back from a 12-point deficit. You're watching TCC basketball on TCCEagles.com. We welcome you back inside the Eagle Dome. Just under 5 minutes left in this first half. TCC trailing the visiting Chipola College by a score of 30-18. Looking, as we've been mentioning all game, to try and just keep this deficit maybe within 10, especially at halftime. That would be a point of emphasis for TCC, and they've got a chance to bring it to 10 with some free throws. It will be Denisha Bowles at the line. Believe went 2 for 2 in her first trip.
You jinxed her, William.
First one off the heel of the iron. As we mentioned, has not shot a lot of free throws this season, but this will be her fourth of the evening. Gets that one to fall, so she goes 1 for 2 in her trip to the line. 11-point deficit now. TCC looking to provide a little bit of pressure. They get it out to the left wing. And a turnover. Sandeja Payne's got it on the break, guarded by McLaughlin. Looks to put up a shot, and she's fouled. Fouled in the act by Jordan McLaughlin.
Wow. They changed the call there. You don't often see that, especially on a foul call. For one official to come down to the other end and reverse it, that hurts. That hurts TCC.
As you had mentioned earlier, Sandeja Payne playing a great defensive game. She's able to swipe a turnover. They're not able to convert it into some points.
And then a blocking foul called on Divine Guthrie on the other end, man. That's tough.
Absolutely. Divine Guthrie's second foul of the game.
Only your first foul, it's on the floor, so they don't get free throws here.
A shot put up there by Wright Gaskins. It's no good. Garrett with it, out to Sandeja Payne on the far side. A shot put up there by Guthrie's, no good. Rebounded by Chipola. McLaughlin out to Shimmy Muhammad, who gives it to Bryant. Bryant puts up a three-point attempt and gets nothing but air. Goes out of bounds, and TCC will get possession here. Polina Nicolochikina checks back into the game. I believe first time we've seen her in this second quarter. Olivia Eller in the game, and Brianna Chambers as well, checking back in. Eller with the inbound. Gets it to Garrett. Garrett gives it to Bowles, and are they going to say she stepped out of bounds? They do. Another turnover for TCC.
I didn't have the best view on that one, but yeah, you've got to be real careful. The official's going to be looking right on the line in those situations to make that call, and he did.
Got to watch where you are on the floor. McLaughlin gets the inbound, guarded by Eller. A pick set by McKinney, and they get it out to Shimmy Muhammad, who puts up a three-point shot, and she absolutely nails that one. 33-19 Chipola now. Polina with the inbound, out to Eller.
Can't hold on to it for too long. You got to keep moving.
They're able to get it across midcourt in time. Eller out to Denisha Bowles. Back to Nicolochikina on the right side, guarded by two. Bowles to Garrett. Garrett back to Polina, who puts up a shot. And nothing but net for Polina Nicolochikina. It's an 11-point deficit now with 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Polina taking matters into her own hands on that offensive possession. McLaughlin looking to bring in Muhammad, but just shoves it to her instead. Back to McLaughlin rather. Muhammad puts up a three-point shot. That one does not fall. Brianna Chambers with a nice rebound working against Wright Gaskins. Denisha Bowles pushing it down the floor. Out to Eller on the right side. The Chambers in the post, one of the first times she's got to touch the ball, and puts up a little bit of a mid-range shot, and it's no good. Shimmy Muhammad pushing it down the floor to Bryant, out to McLaughlin, one of her first shots of the game, and it's no good. And another rebound by Brianna Chambers. Out to Garrett now. Polina gives it to Eller. Eller's got an open shot and thought might have had it, but a little bit of an in-and-out action there. Chipola gets it. Wright Gaskins pushing it down the floor quickly and does not get the layup to fall. And now Polina is off to the races. Gives it to Eller, who thought about taking another shot, but drives instead. Heavily contested and does not get that one to fall off the glass. Chipola saving the ball from going out of bounds, and they almost turned it over, but they're able to keep it and take possession now. McLaughlin driving down the lane, takes it back out. Bryant to Muhammad. Muhammad working on Eller, and that layup is no good. Shot put back up by Brenda McKinney and gets that one to fall. Timeout called there by Chipola with 1:36 left in the second quarter. We'll step aside. Again, you're watching TCC basketball on TCCEagles.com and YouTube. For over 40 years, Tallahassee Orthopedic Clinic has provided the highest quality, patient-centered orthopedic care and sports medicine to North Florida and South Georgia. TOC, the team behind the team, and a proud supporter of the Tallahassee Community College Eagles. About a minute and a half remaining in this second quarter. Eagles trailing by 13. It's a 35-22 score.
William, I think you can see the Eagles. We've talked about the short rotation. We've talked about the injuries they're dealing with. They're looking a little tired. And it's to be understood. You know, it's reasonable, but you got to find a way. 96 seconds right now. Dig in, try to get a couple possessions back, get some more points on the board, and not turn the ball over like that. They've got about 5 seconds to get it across the court.
Nia Bostic making her first appearance of the game. The pass was to her, and wow, what a great job by Sandasia Payne to get it across the half-court line just under time. And they're going to call a travel on Chipola, who had just recently gotten possession of the ball, and they're going to turn it back over to TCC.
Again, now you can reset again here. Maybe gain 2, 3, 4 points on him here going into the break. Take what little bit of momentum you can find. And go into the second half with a chance to make this ball game.
Garrett will inbound. Everyone's covered. They get it back out to Sandasia Payne at the top of the key. And a foul called and a turnover against TCC.
Yeah, Brianna Chambers there called for the offensive foul. She's got to be a little careful there, but again, you got to be locked in this point of the game.
Her first foul of the contest. Baez gives it to Wright Gaskins. Now it's Andrews with it. Andrews looking to work on Nia Bostic. Fouls, gives it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin back to Fouls. Fouls puts up a three-point shot, and that's her fourth triple of the game. She is absolutely on fire. 38-22 is your score.
She knew it, too. As soon as it came out of the hand, she knew that one was going in.
Sandasia Payne with it, out to Polina. Back to Payne. Looking to get the ball down low, but everyone's covered. So they keep shoving it back and forth between them. Payne finally decides to take it herself and goes the distance. Gets that layup to fall.
I'm shocked we didn't see it whistle there either way, whether it was a block or a charge, or maybe even a whistle after the bucket for a flop warning, because she went down hard and the ref decided to not blow the whistle there.
Shot clock is turned off, and you would imagine Jordan McLaughlin looking to make this the last possession of the opening half. A screen set by Andrews. They give it to Baez on the other side, who puts up a three-point shot, and she gets that one to fall, ricocheting off the glass. A couple of seconds remaining. TCC puts up a shot and is not able to get that one to fall. So, as we close out this first half, 41-24 is your score. Chipola being able to build on this lead throughout the first half of this game. And Brett, really what stands out to you on what we've seen so far in this opening half?
Chipola is knocking down their shots, and they're doing a lot of stuff right, but you look at that three coming off the glass, it's going to be one of those nights. They're hitting everything. They're just shooting the roof off the place. So the Eagles got to protect the basketball, got to stay composed but move quickly when Chipola brings that pressure, and take it possession by possession. You know, the game's not over. It's a big deficit, but if you take it possession by possession, you can get back within reach and hopefully make this a game in the second half.
Chipola, the number 11 team in the country. It's been a tough schedule thus far for TCC. They're going to need to keep fighting like they've been doing all season. We will step aside. About 14 and a half minutes remaining in this halftime intermission. When we return, the second half of this game between Tallahassee Community College and Chipola College. You're watching TCC.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
Get social and connect with TCC Athletics on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat, all at TCC Eagles. And following each athletic event, find us on Facebook and see who's named the TCC Eagle of the game. The TCC Eagles are on social media, and we're ready to connect with you. About a minute remaining until the second half is underway. Chipola with a 17-point lead. They lead 41-24. Brett, as we go into the second half, what are some things you're looking to see out of the Eagles?
Protect the basketball. If Chipola continues to knock down threes at will, there's not much you can do about that. But what you can do, what you can focus on, what you have control over, is protecting the basketball, keeping yourself in possession, and open up shots for your offense. And ultimately, it's a big deficit. I'm not going to say the game's over yet because it's not. But you've just got to take it possession by possession. And that's a cliche, but it's the only way the Eagles will be able to have a shot in this one.
I agree. I think TCC put together a pretty good defensive game plan, challenged them to shoot from beyond the arc. Not a lot of opportunities to drive to the basket. The problem is Chipola has been getting those shots to fall, and how. Shakira fouls, I think, is something of 4 for 5 maybe from beyond the arc. And the offensive game plan, there's definitely some adjustments that can be made. Get out of those traps, get out of that full court pressure, and find the open player deep down the court.
Yeah, they're having a really hard time with fouls. She's a forward, but she can space the floor. They've actually got her listed as a guard and a forward here on the roster, but she can shoot. She can score from anywhere on the floor. She spaces the floor out really well for Chipola, and she's been a real threat. But it doesn't matter who's shooting the threes for this Chipola team tonight. They all seem to be making them. And I think this is a big half. This is a gut check for the Eagles. They're playing with a shortened rotation, still looking for that first conference win. We know there's not going to be an easy one in this league, but you're at home. If you want to show, I'm not saying you need to come back from 17 points and win this game, but turn it into a ball game. Huge gut check here for TCC.
Absolutely, and they'll get the ball first to start this second half. Hopefully can get some momentum on their side. Garrett inbounds the ball, and we are back underway inside the Bill Hebruck Eagle Dome. For William Haynes, I'm joined by Brett Rutherford. TCC in their all-pink uniforms. I believe the second time they've donned those this year. The first time was a buzzer-beater victory. Shakira Payne puts up a shot and is fouled.
They're going to call an offensive foul on that one. They're going to say Shadasia Payne forced that contact there. Yeah, at least the second time they've worn these at home. The first time they wore them at home, Anna Nikolochkina, who's not playing tonight, hit that huge buzzer beater in their first win of the season. One of the more memorable moments of the year for the Eagles, probably the most memorable moment.
And opposite them, Chipola in their all-road grays. A three-point attempt in the corner by Shimi Muhammad. She gets that one to fall, so Chipola opens the scoring in the second half of this game. Garrett just pulling the ball away from McLaughlin, tipped by Gaskin. She's got possession of the ball, gets it to McLaughlin down low, and is fouled by Shakira Payne. Her second foul in just a matter of moments.
Yeah, Shadasia Payne really no choice but to foul there. You turn the ball over. They had McLaughlin all alone underneath. Send her to the free throw line. Don't let her have that easy bucket. Well, actually, it will be on the floor. I thought they were going to call her with the shot attempt, but yeah, I think the foul is probably the right decision there, but unfortunate for Shadasia Payne. She's only on 2 fouls, but she'll head to the bench.
2 fouls in the first 40 seconds by TCC. Shimi Muhammad will inbound. She hit the 3-point shot last possession. They get it to Wright Gaskins, who doesn't get it. Rebound by Muhammad, and she gets that one to fall. So a 5-0 run to open up the second half for Chipola.
That was great work from Shakira Fowles there, boxing out 2 Eagles. And Chambers, you cannot have that pass go across the baseline like that unless you got a player cutting in that's wide open. And she didn't have that, so that'll be another turnover. But Shakira Fowles, we talked about her versatility coming out of the break, and they're showing a box out, creating that offensive rebound, and ultimately a shot attempt for Chipola.
She's been great so far tonight. They give it to Wright Gaskins. Gets that one to fall. TCC with it back now. Polina to Olivia Eller. 3 seconds left to get the ball across half court. They do. Brianna Chambers, one-on-one, puts up a floater and does not get the layup to fall. And on the other end, Chipola getting it out quickly. It'll be an and one for Shimi Muhammad. It looked like Olivia Eller committing the foul there. They're going to say it was on Polina Nicolochikina, her third foul.
Yeah, it's tough. You feel this one really getting away from TCC. There's still a lot of game left. And I think, you're playing for pride here at this point now. You've had a couple of stretches throughout the game where you've looked good. It looks like
they waved it off the floor.
Yeah.
Olivia Eller inbounds it. They're getting it down the floor quickly. Puts up a shot, and it's no good. It was Denisha Bowles on that attempt. McLaughlin's got it, going the other way. Bowles out to shot no good. Rebounded by TCC. Sandeja Payne with it. Couple of Chipola players taking a swipe at that basketball.
How has she kept the dribble here? Hasn't picked it up. Oh my, loses it there though.
Trying to pass it to Olivia Eller on the other side. Pass just deflected. And then on the other end, is able to provide some good defense. Gets the stop there on a 2-on-1 in favor of Chipola.
Yeah, great defense from Olivia Eller. I thought she was going to slide in and try to take that charge. Ultimately gets in the way of that pass, and it goes out of play. The Eagles will get it right back.
Eagles still looking for their first points of the second half as we're just about 2 minutes into this third quarter. Turnover there. Nia Bostic getting back into the game. Fouls. Passing it down low to McLaughlin. Back out to Fouls. She wants to take that three-point shot. In and out. I believe just her second miss of the game. She's got 4 makes. And what is so far a 50-point effort for Chipola. Olivia Eller getting it out to Guthrie. Guthrie. And they try to get it back, and it's back out. Turnover. They're going to say Nia Bostic stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, Bostic wasn't ready for that one. Eller thought she was going to drive in and take that shot herself. Decides at the last second to dish back out to Bostic. And miscommunication there and another turnover.
At least offensively, it looks like TCC has had some struggles settling back into the second half. Fouls passes it down low, and it looks like they're going to call a foul defensively on TCC.
I think a little frustration showing there, Divine Guthrie. We know she plays with a lot of emotion. We'll get a timeout here from the Chipola bench, but Divine Guthrie's just got to kind of keep herself in check. You don't want any of those fouls in that situation. So we'll step aside. This is TCC Basketball live on TCCEagles.com.
With 7:05 left in this third quarter, we welcome you back. Chipola inbounding the ball, and the shot is no good. A lot of players fighting for a rebound. Chambers ultimately gets it, and she is fouled by Shimi Muhammad of Chipola. Chipola's first foul of the third quarter, rather. Olivia Eller with it. Gets it out to Bostic. Denisha Bowles out back to Bostic. And a travel called on Nia Bostic as she turns the ball over.
Bostic having a rough shift here. I think it's good to keep her in the game. Let her get settled in. Work through some things here.
Working against Chambers, the shot is no good. Fouls puts one up, and another defensive rebound there by Brianna Chambers. Garrett with it. to Olivia Eller. Passing it to the other side of the floor to Garrett again. Puts up a contested shot, in and out. Rebounded by Chipola.
I'm okay with that shot attempt from Miami Garrett. We usually see her insert herself into the game a little bit more than she has tonight. Would love to see some aggression from her in the second half.
Shimi Muhammad moving down the lane. A little bit of a tug there by Olivia Eller as she came by. Eller's second foul of the game, and with that 5th foul call on TCC, that now puts Chipola into the bonus.
Yeah, they're going to be in the bonus for the last 6 and change minutes of this quarter. I think it's all academic at this point, but you could see them having some more trips to the free throw line.
Shimi Muhammad well under 50% from the line, 43%, gets the first one to fall. First point scored we've had in quite a while. Muhammad's second shot is good as well, so she goes 2 for 2 from the line. Some substitutions made by Chipola. Garrett will inbound, gives it to Sandeja Payne. And Garrett trying to get it to Sandeja Payne on the near sideline. Pass just a bit too high. We've seen that a couple of times so far this game. Just struggling to hit with those passes. Another turnover, and it will be Chipola basketball. McLaughlin with it here. Just over midcourt, working against Sandeja Payne. Trying to work down low on Nia Bostic. Found an open three-point shot attempt. She decides she doesn't want to take it. That's Baez out to Wright Gaskins. And we've seen her do that quite a bit, traveling down the lane. Shot is no good, but Chipola will retain possession. A turnover there off the inbound. Denisha Bowles gets it to Sandeja Payne, looking to work, and a foul will be called, the second on Chipola. It was in the act of shooting, so Sandeja Payne will get a chance to shoot a couple of free throws herself. Payne this season over 60% from the stripe. First one is no good. Gets the second one to go, though, so she goes 1 for 2 in her trip. 52-25 is now your scores. We're midway through the third quarter of this game. McLaughlin at the top. And a turnover there. Good defense by Garrett to force the turnover. Sandeja Payne with it once again. Puts up a floater and gets that one to fall. No foul necessary to score some points there. So yeah. TCC on a nice little run.
You're seeing the Eagles just put those shots up quickly. Not try to pass it around for the open shooter. They're trying to get it to Sandeja Payne or when Polina's on the floor to her. And get those shots quickly.
Blocking foul there called against TCC. Their 6th of the quarter. And the first foul called of the game on Miami Garrett. Tashona Wright Gaskins was the player fouled, so she'll head to the free throw line. Just over 75%. She's one of the team's leading scorers with just over 15 points average a game. We've seen her take quite a volume of shots. Sophomore guard, previously spent some time at Florida Southwestern State College. 2019-20 season with them. She played in 29 games, averaged 7 points and 4 rebounds with a team that seems to be always in the top of the ranks of women's basketball in the NJCAA Division I. Second free throw. That one is off as well. Rebounded by Brianna Chambers. Sandeja Payne looking to move the ball now. She's heavily contested. Gets it back out on the near side to Garrett. And another foul called there.
I actually think this might be an issue with the clock. But going back to what you said about where we're kind of at in the season, where we're kind of at, looking at the Panhandle standings, looking at the NJCAA rankings, there's still plenty of games left in this Panhandle Conference schedule for TCC. And while you've got a lot of third-year players that will be moving on after this year, you've got a lot of young players. I think there's a lot to still be learned this season. You know, maybe your aspirations have changed in terms of where you want to finish in the standings. But I think for these young players, it's going to be really important for them to gain as much experience as possible. Because, like you said, the last 6 national champions have come from the Panhandle Conference in women's basketball. And TCC is one of them. Look at that banner hanging above the basket there. 2018, that wasn't that long ago. So the Eagles, I think they're capable of getting back to where they want to be. But some of these young players, they've got to try to gain as much experience as possible. And here comes Chipola moving in transition on the other end, and there's a finish by Ashley Baez.
TCC had a chance with a number 16 team in the country in their building. A win today would have brought TCC up to 4th place in the conference. Things not looking incredibly well with a 54-27 margin, but you never know. And after this game, they'll be off this weekend. They've got basically a 7-day layoff, but then they're going to have to be on the road at Northwest Florida State College, which is still the unanimous number 1 team in the country, a team that beat them by an 85-43 margin a couple of weeks ago, so that's no easy task.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You know, you've got a 5-team conference until some team has to have an off day. They play on Wednesdays and Saturdays mostly, so you get some time to maybe get healthy here. I haven't talked to Coach Joe Cohen and what the injury status for some of their players who are sidelined is, but get healthy, get rested, and it bounced back against, you know, like you mentioned, 2 really tough opponents in Northwest Florida and Gulf Coast State on the road next week.
Foul called on Justina Graham of Chipola. Their 3rd foul of the quarter with about 4 minutes remaining. They got it out to Sandeja Payne. It looks like she was going to pass it, but decided to work on McLaughlin instead. She's navigating some traffic. They've got a 3-point shot open, and they do not get it to fall. That was Denisha Bowles there taking the shot. Chipola now with it. Hewley moving it down. Closely guarded by Payne. Nowhere to go with the basketball. Just shoves it to Ashley Baez. Back to McLaughlin. A screen set there by McKinney. And they try to give it to her back down low, but Garrett tipping the pass out of bounds. Possession will remain with Chipola.
Officials talking something over with head coach Greg Franklin over by the Chipola bench, and one official headed to the scorer's table. I think it's worth mentioning, or I think it's a good time to mention, we've got another game on deck tonight as TCC and Chipola men's basketball teams go at it. And it'll be a rematch again, another rematch after TCC traveled over to Marietta a couple weeks ago in their first Panhandle Conference game and really struggled. But since then, we've seen them pick up a couple of wins. And I think they've really settled in here to the Panhandle Conference. I think it took them a couple of games catch up with the speed. And we know Chipola, they've got experience, they've got talent, they've got great coaching and head coach Donnie Tyndall. And honestly, I think here at home, we already see more people trickling in here. I think we're going to have a really exciting atmosphere and a really great game on tap.
TCC, I think, has learned a lot about who they are as a team since that game. A lot of things different. I think, you know, more cohesive and all that. And as you mentioned as well, you have the advantage of playing this game at home. It's going to be a good atmosphere. So maybe, you know, put some of those doubts to rest that arose after that last game and move forward in conference play. They got their first conference win in their last game, against Gulf Coast State.
Official still talking this over here. I mean, I honestly don't know what the discussion is. But we're going to... I think the delay is just about over, but Coach Greg Franklin making sure he understands whatever the decision was here. And again, I still don't know what's being debated.
Greg Franklin in his 6th year at Chipola, a 3:01 and 46 record, a national champion. He's taken the Chipola to the Elite Eight as well. Shot put up, and that one is good by Divine Guthrie. Nice job down low. Put up a strong floater and got it to fall. Another screen set by Brendan McKinney of TCC out to McLaughlin. Got it on the wing. It's Justina Graham back to McLaughlin, working against Sandasia Payne, and Payne's got her trapped, and the ball is loose. Guthrie's moving it down the floor, and she is fouled coming down the lane.
I like that. Guthrie picked the ball up and moved. She had no open lane to pass, so she just kept it herself, draws the foul, and they're one away from the bonus. I think it's probably a smart foul from Chipola, even though with just under 13 minutes left in this game. Don't know how much that matters. You're looking at Polina Nikolichkina over on the exercise bike off the side of the bench. I don't know if she's dealing with an injury or just trying to keep the muscles moving. I guess it's the latter, but we'll see.
Denisha Bowles has it, guarded closely. The whistle is blown. And it's going to be a timeout on the floor by TCC head coach Joe Cohen. So with 2:47 left in the third quarter, we'll step aside. You're watching TCC Eagles basketball on tcceagles.com.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges, eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
7 minutes into the third quarter, we return outside of a timeout called by TCC. Eagles trapped a little bit, and Cohen able to get the timeout in time. They're inbound the ball and maybe reset offensively a little bit. Sandasia Payne's got it. Out to Bostic. Bostic driving down the lane, puts up a shot, and that one is too strong. Rebounded by Shakira Fowles of Chipola. Foul sets a screen, or tried to at least. Hewley puts up a shot, or actually gets it to Bryant. Another shot put up and a foul called.
See Olivia Eller check back in here soon. And again, I mentioned in the last home game, Olivia, she returned to the lineup from injury and kind of is able to slow things down a lot of times for the Eagles. And today, I think at times she struggled with the full court pressure. We know she can distribute the basketball well. I think she's just got to work on beating that full court press. And the whole team has struggled with it today. And hopefully still some valuable minutes to be had here. A lot to learn, a lot to improve on. But another foul called there. And you hate to see the second half turn into just several trips to the free throw line for either team. You know, in a game that's slightly out of reach, you love to just see some more open, free-flowing basketball, teams getting a chance to work on certain things. And I mentioned Polina Nikolichkina earlier. Looks like she's getting ready to check back in.
She's certainly a big boost to the offense whenever she's on the floor. Shimi Muhammad makes her first. Muhammad, a 6-foot sophomore from Brooklyn, New York. For some reason, quite a few New York natives on both the women's and the men's team. Maybe some connections somewhere in the coaching staff to that area. But we know that that's certainly a hotbed of talent in the sport of basketball.
Yeah, Coach Rick Cabrera on the men's side for TCC. He's a New York native. We've seen plenty of other players from New York make their way down to the Panhandle Conference.
Bulls gets it out to Guthrie, who puts up a shot and is fouled in the act of shooting. She'll go to the line and shoot two, just over 50%. as a free throw shooter. Third foul called on Shakira Fowles, who has given TCC all kinds of trouble in this game. Guthrie's first shot put up is good. Polina Nicolo-Chikina and Olivia Eller are back on the floor. Some fresh faces for TCC. Gives it back to Fowles, who just committed the foul. Out to right, Gaskins, who is fouled by Garrett, and now she'll shoot some free throws. You mentioned it just a couple of minutes ago. It seems like we've gotten ourselves into kind of a free throw shooting contest here. Minute 54 left in the third quarter. 57-31 is your score as Chipola continuing to pull away a little bit. Right, Gaskins gets the first one to fall. Second one is in and out, rebounded by Devine Guthrie. Polina's trapped, so she gets the ball out. And Denisha Bowles with it, puts an over-the-back kind of shot attempt, which is no good. Rebounded by Shakira Fowles, who's moving it up the floor. Gets it to the wing. Gaskins again, and she is fouled again. Mayanna Garrett called with another foul. Both teams in the bonus for the remaining minute and a half of this quarter. Tashona Wright Gaskins, you would say, certainly one of the more impactful players for Chipola. He seems like she's been involved in almost every offensive possession when she's on the floor. The ball seems to certainly move through her, whether it's in the post or they get it to her outside and she drives in. A big part of what they do offensively. Denisha Bowles gets it out to Polina. Back to Bowles, who tries to get it to Eller, and it's tipped out of bounds by Fowles. And possession looks like will remain with TCC. Garrett inbounds. Bowles has it. Back to Garrett. And her pass to Olivia Eller is intercepted by Hewley, who tries to pass it to her teammate, and Eller, who committed the turnover, gets down the floor to prevent an easy bucket. They get the inbound to foul. She's guarded by Chambers, who's now back on the floor. Hewley has it now, trying to set something up. Fowles thought about setting a screen, and now she will on Polina. Drives on Chambers, puts up a floater, and gets that one to fall against one of the tallest defenders that TCC has at their disposal. Hewley with a nice drive to the basket and gets a shot to go. Pass deflected there. Olivia Eller's got it out to Polina beyond the arc. Thought about maybe popping that shot, but drives it in instead, and her shot attempt not strong enough, and now Chipola gets possession back. A one-on-one now to Gaskins, and a foul called. Chipola will shoot some more free throws. Shamim Muhammad back at the line. We've seen her, I believe, her third or fourth trip to the line so far tonight. First one is good. And gets the second one to fall as well. Substitutions back on for Chipola, included by McLaughlin. The point guard they love to run their offense through. Inbound is to Eller. Now to Polina, back to Garrett. Passing the ball the width of the court as the shot clock is now turned off. Polina's got a chance at the basket. She passes it off to Bowles instead, and Denisha Bowles gets that one to fall. 64-33 now your score. So we are now about at the close of this quarter. One final shot attempt perhaps for Shakira Fowles, and that one is no good. So 1 quarter remaining now between these two teams. It's a 31-point margin in favor of Chipola College. We'll step aside. You're watching TCC Eagles basketball on tcceagles.com and YouTube. Tallahassee Community College would like to thank the following media partners for their support of Eagle Athletics: the Tallahassee Democrat, the Capital Outlook, the Gadsden County Times, WTAL 1450 AM, WCTV, and WTXL.
Before the start of this fourth quarter, just want to highlight last year's Eagles players who's now at the Division I level. Rita James was a guard for last year's team, a huge spark plug on either side of the floor. Now playing at Central Arkansas and has had a pretty good season. You saw her pick up some big minutes against some high-major Division I opponents. She played 24 minutes against the Arkansas Razorbacks last month. Also played at Oklahoma and at Kansas State for Central Arkansas. I'd love to see a former Eagle having some success at the Division I level.
Absolutely. We've seen a couple. I know L. Ellis was one of discussion after his Louisville Cardinals came into Tallahassee a couple weeks ago.
I'll probably pull up some stats and highlight some of the other successes at D1 from the TCC men's team from last year. There's a whole ton of them that have now taken their talents elsewhere after their time at TCC, and that's always something good to see. So early foul here, though, on the Eagles.
They got Wright Gaskins a shot and rebounded there by Brianna Chambers. Trying to get it across midcourt. They do to Garrett. She's got some open Eagles. If she can find them, Polina back out to Chambers, who hands it to Olivia Eller. She tries to set something up, and a pass perhaps to Chambers maybe was offline. Denisha Bulls, or rather Garrett, ended up getting on top of it, but no points was to come out of it. Fowles now driving down the lane. Takes it back out to the three-point line, puts another shot up, and no surprise there. She gets that one to fall, her fifth triple of the game.
Yeah, I thought Polina was going to rip that one away from her. Credit to Fowles, keeping the handle, composing herself in the corner and knocking down that shot. That's not. I don't think we've seen her hit one from that spot on the floor. There's Polina on the other end.
Nice
little too
rebound
much
there by Chambers. Puts up a shot of her own. That high arcing shot that she's become known for. Rebounded by Polina, and she was fouled rather hard.
Yeah, Shakira Fowles, I think a player that any coach in this league would want. The ability to space the floor and provide that physicality on the defensive end. Polina with another shot from three. That one comes off the glass and no good.
Olivia Eller trying to swipe the ball away, but she cannot. Fast break opportunity here for Chipola. McLaughlin hands it off. It's back to her. Kicks it out to Fowles. She thought about taking another shot.
They're going to say 3 seconds. Caught in the lane there, so the Eagles will get it back. And they'll inbound from the baseline.
Garrett will take it out. Nia Bostic checking back into this game, and she'll replace Olivia Eller. They give it to Bostic to start things off. Back to her on the near side, takes it out. Back to Garrett. Chambers got it in the corner. She gives it to Denisha Bowles. Drives through the lane, finds the open shooter. Back to Bostic, and that shot is offline. Another rebound for Chambers, and she turns that one over. McLaughlin on the break and gets a nice layup there. Nia Bostic was trying to run her down. Did not get there in time. And a nice shot there by Denisha Bowles. Mid-range jumper, gets it to fall. 69-35 now your score with about 7.5 minutes remaining in this final quarter between these two teams.
Great effort there from Nia Bostic to get that steal.
Absolutely.
You'll love to see the effort in a game that's out of reach in the fourth quarter. There's not a whole lot of incentive to try to play for those turnovers, but Bostic, after a couple mishaps earlier, making her presence felt.
Nicola Chikina puts up a mid-range shot, and she gets that one to go. Not much success from beyond the arc, but inside. That was a nice shot.
You know, there's 7 minutes left in this game. It's their choice what they want to do with these minutes. They just want to let the clock tick down, go quietly into the night, or they want to put up a fight here and try to gain some valuable experience against a really tough Chipola team.
And another thing to consider, Chipola is keeping their stars in this game. McLaughlin, who's been running the point pretty much the entire game. Shakira Fowles, we all are aware of the game that she's been able to have, and then Wright Gaskins is on the floor as well. So they're not taking their feet off the gas by any means. They are still applying the pressure late in this game.
Yeah, they don't want to let TCC take any sort of thing out of this game, even if it's just, you know, a 6-0 run in the fourth quarter. They want to keep playing their basketball. You got to respect it from Coach Greg Franklin, because these are valuable minutes for them too. You know, you sometimes when you're on the winning side of this situation, you can get complacent. You can let the opposing team, you know, string together a few buckets, or you can learn to kind of, you know, keep your foot on the gas, because the next game they play, they might not be in such a comfortable position. They might need to be able to play 40 straight minutes of relentless basketball. So you're going to see both coaches really continue to push it here.
Got Nicola Chikina on the wing. Passes it out, and a little bit of no man's land there. Shakira Payne's got it now. Polina driving in the lane, avoiding some traffic, some over-the-back shot, and that one is no good. Certainly crafty shot making there by Polina, just couldn't get it to go. McLaughlin looking to take it the distance, and she's fouled. McLaughlin's first shot is good, 70% free throw shooter. The 5'7" sophomore guard spent the 2019-20 season at Mercer, appeared in 10 games, averaging about 7 points and 3 assists per game. About the line that she's been able to provide Chipola. Polina's got it now. Out to Guthrie, back to Payne. Bostic puts up a shot, and that one's no good. Rebounded by Chipola. Traveling down the lane with it again. Kicks it out this time. McKinney. Now they've got Andrews in the corner. Passing it all around. Ashley Baez with it now. Hands it to Bryant. And that floater from McLaughlin was no good. TCC's got it out in a hurry, and they're going to call a charge against TCC. That foul called against Divine Guthrie. Or rather, they're going to say that was Denisha Bowles, her 4th foul of the game. So just one more within the 6 minutes or so, and she'll be out of this game if that was to occur.
She had Polina running alongside her. I don't know if she had the outlet to complete that pass, but decides to take it. Chipola draws another charge.
Chipola really slowing things down here, taking their time with this possession. A shot put up by Ashley Baez, and that one does not fall. Denisha Bowles has it, She's trapped, and Chipola's able to get the ball loose. A shot put up, and that one's good for Brenda McKinney. Maya Bostic with it now for TCC. Payne with it down the lane, moving, passes it out to the corner. Polina out, back out to Bostic. Hands it to Polina once more. She'll take a three-point attempt, and another miss from her. She could not get that one to go. A little bit of an in and out. Chipola moving quickly, and a bucket in transition there for Ashley Baez, the freshman from Santo Domingo. Whistle blown. And it looks like we're going to have that media timeout. We will. So we will step aside. 4.5 minutes left to go in this game. You're watching TCC Eagles basketball on TCCEagles.com and YouTube. TCCEagles.com is your official online home for Tallahassee Community College athletics. There, you can get all the latest news and information on all of the Eagles teams and watch home games both live and on demand. It's the official home for TCC athletics, TCCEagles.com. A technical foul there called Jordan McLaughlin of Chipola. So Nicola Chikina with a couple of free throws, and she's able to convert on those. 75-39 is your score, as we are getting close to closing out this game.
And actually now I think this will be our media timeout on the floor. They had to take the timeout to assess the technical foul and let her take those free throws. So, William, I guess we'll step aside once again. Live on TCCEagles.com. Eagles trailing by 36.
Tallahassee Community College has been named as one of the top 10 community colleges in the nation. The Aspen Institute recognizes institutions from across the country that have exceptional achievements and a total commitment to improving student outcomes. The college was recognized as one of the nation's premier community colleges eligible to compete for the prestigious $1 million Aspen Prize for Community College Excellence because of its focus on student access and success, its workforce training initiatives, a seamless and high transfer rate to four-year colleges and universities, and its many varied and productive community partnerships. This recognition from the Aspen Institute is a testament to the wonderful work of the faculty, staff, and leadership at Tallahassee Community College.
Refreshment Services Pepsi, located at 3919 West Pensacola Street, is the official soft drink partner for Tallahassee Community College athletics. The Eagles thank Refreshment Services Pepsi for its support and hopes you have a Pepsi day. A little bit of a mix-up there with the technical foul and how the timeout was going to be assessed. Now we're back in action. Polina inbounding the ball. Olivia Eller with it. Moving the width of the court. Whistle blown. Fifth foul called in this quarter against Chipola, and for the remaining 4:27 of this game, the Eagles will be in the bonus. Polina with the ball now. Hands it back to Eller. Gets it to Payne. Polina's in the corner. They get it down low to Guthrie, and that ball is knocked loose. Chipola moving quickly, and a nice bucket in transition there for Ashley Baez. Olivia Eller taking this ball up the floor. Hands it off to Polina. Looking for some space. Gets it out to the top to Guthrie. Ball will stay with TCC after it's knocked out of bounds. Inbounded to Polina down low. She had some space, and she's fouled in the act, so she'll shoot a couple more free throws. First whistle of the day called on Jyla Greenlee. Polina's first shot bounces around and in. Eagles cross the 40-point threshold. They average 54.4 points a game. So they'll probably fall a little bit under that mark. Second shot is good as well. Chipola now with the basketball. Hewley now with it. Working against Garrett. Amzil sets a screen, and now she's got it. Hands it off to Baez. Baez closely guarded by Polina, looking for some space on the right side. Kicks it back out to Hewley. Hewley looking for somewhere to go, and a shot clock violation, the first one of this game. So some nice defense there by TCC. There was nowhere to go with the basketball.
Yeah, great defense there from the Eagles. Now we are seeing some more reserves in. Some of the players will get some less minutes on this Chipola team, and that ooh, wow, great effort there by Garrett to keep that one from going into the back court.
Polina's got it now. A little bit of a fadeaway jumper off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Chipola. They pass it across back to Hewley. And the ball is seemingly off the face, maybe, of Latifa Amzil rather. The freshman from Finland. Previously spent some time at Cisco College. Eller with it. Looking to set something up. Chambers was trying to set a screen. Sets it there. Moves into the post. Polina takes a shot from beyond the arc, and that was off the heel of the iron. Rebounded by Mia Andrews of Chipola. She's with it now. Kicks it out to the corner to Amzil. Amzil, the shot is no good. Rebounded by Chipola, and it was Greenlee with it, losing the handle, so that'll be a turnover and possession back to the Eagles. Final 2 minutes or so remaining in this game. 77-41 is your score. Garrett inbounds it to Polina. Polina moving it down the floor, hands it off to Guthrie. Guthrie now on the other side. Mid-range shot is no good, rebounded by Chambers. Back out to Bowles, now to Nicolo Cicchina. She lets it fly, and that one is no good as well. So a tough night from beyond the arc for Nicolo Cicchina. Was able to get the ball again and knocked out of her hands. Foul called there on her.
Yeah, I think another frustration foul there from Polina. Thought maybe she was fouled on that three-point attempt. I think she knew it too, probably. I wouldn't call it a dirty play at all, but went to help the player up as soon as she knocked her over. Pretty clear foul.
Her fourth of the game, but under 2 minutes remaining. Just TCC deciding to leave her in the game. Maybe get her some more work on that three-point shot that she has been struggling to have some success with in this game. Ashley Baez will shoot a couple of free throws, gets the first one to fall. Double-digit score for Chipola off the bench. It's been a nice weapon here for them today. About a minute and a half remaining. Bowles out to Garrett. Polina thought about taking another three-point shot, drives it in a little more, lets a mid-range one fly, and that one was off target. And Chipola not laying off the gas by any means. Amzil puts up a layup, and that one is no good. TCC able to get this one, and the pass to Sandeja Payne was out of bounds. Chipola now with it. Once more, Mia Andrews will inbound it. Gives it to Hewley in the backcourt. Guarded by Garrett. Hands off to Greenlee. Greenlee had an open shot, but decided to pass it off to Amzil. Back to Andrews in the corner. Shot put up there by Hewley. A crafty layup, and she gets that one to fall. Lead now to 40 points in favor of Chipola for the final 60 seconds of this contest. Probably a couple of possessions left remaining. Zendasia Payne takes that one down the lane, and an in and out there, rebounded by Chipola. Andrews, call it bias, taking it down the floor. An open shot this time for Greenlee, and she gets that one to fall. One of the first players not named Shakira Fowles to get a three-point shot to go for Chipola. About a 3 or 4 seconds separating shot clock and game clock as Polina tries to take that one down the lane and is fouled in the act. She'll shoot a couple more free throws. Chipola, one of the more explosive offenses in this league. They average 80 points a game. They've crossed that threshold with 84 points now. You imagine after Polina's done with this free throw, Chipola will inbound and dribble the ball and the clock out and call this one a game. Hewley is with it. Guarded by Polina. 18 seconds left.
Double dribble call there with less than 10 seconds, so the Eagles will get one more shot at it.
Polina wasn't ready to go home. Wants to get one more shot at this thing. Mayanna Garrett will inbound for what is most likely the last possession of this game. They give it to Polina. You know, she probably wanted to take a shot. She loses the handle. Ball's out of bounds, and it will stay with the Eagles. 3.9 seconds left to go, and maybe this is a good time to wrap a buzzer beater play, something you want to work on. Got to inbound the ball quickly and get a shot up. Denisha Bowles does just that, and the three-point attempt falls short, and that will be your ball game. 84-43 is your score. Chipola getting their 17th win on the season. They're now 17-4, now 2-3 in conference play. They're remaining still in fourth place in the Panhandle Conference. They're still ranked 16th nationally, though. And for TCC, the Eagles fall to 3-18. They're now 0-5 in conference play at the cellar of the Panhandle Conference.
Yeah, I think the Eagles just got to work on protecting the basketball, taking this game by game. Still plenty of games left in conference play. Keep learning, keep improving it out, and most importantly, I think, keep getting healthy because they're still playing with such a short rotation. And we saw it in spurts in the first half, but the second half, I think the rotation was just gassed, and it was really tough for them to put up any sort of a fight against a very talented Chipola team.
And coming up for TCC, the road does not get any easier. For their next game next Wednesday, the 26th, they're going to have to head to Northwest Florida State College, a team that beat them by about 40 the last time around. So they're going to have to get things turned around. They've got this weekend off to do just that, though. Stay with us. It's going to be a different broadcast on TCCEagles.com and on the YouTube channel. But on the men's side of things, the Eagles take on the Chipola College. It's going to be a good game for sure as the Eagles try and maybe get some revenge for a game that was played in Mariana a couple of weeks ago, so make sure to stay tuned for that. For William Haynes, I was joined today by Brett Rutherford. Not quite the outcome we were hoping for, but a good game nonetheless. And signing off until the next game. We're watching TCC Eagles basketball on TCCEagles.com.